Hey everyone, it is I, Sleepy Reader, aka Damien. The light's kind of surreal at the moment. But this is another one of my videos where I show and do a flip through of a book out of my collection of comics art books. And I was looking over um, my artist editions, and I thought, I really loved this Mike Zeck's artist edition. So I would like to flip through it and take a look at it again myself. So I chose this one to do. Eventually, I assume I'll get to all of the ones in my collection. I think I have about 20, 25, maybe more, plus a ton of other art books. Um, anyway, there's something really satisfying about Mike Zeck artwork. I wish he had stayed in comics longer. I don't know the full story behind Mike Zeck. I guess I haven't even read the bio at the back. Um, but anyway, this is a great artist edition. What year did it come out? Copyright 2015. So it's been out quite a while. I don't know if it's hard to get a hold of. I'm starting to think there are multiple ways to get a hold of these artist editions. I sometimes see them just having sat in comic book stores for a very long time. There's only a small market for them, I guess. Um, but then you'll see on eBay ones that are out of print, and go for a lot of money. But I would look around in different places if you're looking for artist editions. And plus, there's those ones that I mentioned in another video that sometimes show up of kind of misprints or remaindered or whatever they are, cheaper editions that someone's selling on eBay also. So anyway, without any more ado, I'll flip the camera around and we'll take a look inside this great book. Love the look of the cover, and man, do I love these blow up end papers. It's so awesome. As always, these books have really nice design to them. I don't know if there's some other way they could design the very full table of contents, but yeah, there's there's no introduction to this one. Some of the artist editions have introductions, some don't, and there's never much information in those introductions. I do wish they did introductions with a lot of information of how the art was made, the artist techniques, and such. Um, but we don't get that. And sometimes I kind of wish, I guess it would ruin the perfection of these pages to put a little note of who the inker on each page is. But I guess we get a full story here where we know the inker is John Beatty. Classic Punisher story. There's something very distinct about Zeck faces, and I love them. And he has his own way of doing layouts that give it the kind of intensity that I think I associate with him. It's all on display in this first story. Looks beautiful in black and white to me. Um, and even though this is kind of a brutal picture, there's also like a beauty to it, at least to me. To be honest, where I fell in love, I read Zek's Master of Kung Fu and I liked it, and then I really fell in love with him on Captain America. I haven't read all of his Punisher work, which I should go back and read it. Um, I can read it right here. At least this story. Got another one by Zach and Beatty. Beatty. Yes, he was a regular inker for Zach. I wonder if there's any work inked by Zach himself. I think the covers are often inked by himself. All the covers that they have are in the back, not with the stories. Just gonna skip a little. Oops. Now this is great because I love seeing what a person's pencil artwork looks like. Um, which usually in the technique they used back then, where the inker would go right over the pencil page, you don't have the pencil pages, but I don't know. I'd have to check if this was a discarded piece of artwork or a an occasion where they didn't ink directly over the page, so the penciled page remains. You can see he really put a lot of detail and even, indicated line weight and that kind of thing, which I don't know if earlier artists would have done. Eventually, I think that became common to give less leeway to the inkers. Um, okay, so this must be inked by himself. I don't know if we have a Zeck and McLeod. So this is inked by McLeod. Presumably this is inked by Zeck because it's Zeck alone. If you're my generation of comic book readers, you're quite liable to become obsessed by inkers because they could change the way things look so much. But it looks like Zeck, from those pencils that we saw, Zeck may have retained a lot of control over the way things look. And this has a different look with less, hatching and more just black and white. But it says it's by um, Michael Zeck, so I assume there's no inker there. Okay, this kind of stuff is crazy, impossible to film. Whoops, to get it's hard enough to get this already giant book on here, but I guess this is the size that he drew some of these covers. This would be the size of the old Golden Age artwork, I believe. This is beautiful. I love it. And one of the things these artists back then in the silver, bronze, copper age, the best ones were masters at how to use their black ink. And I feel like this picture in particular shows how to give all the detail but use the blacks to for greater impact, for compositional pleasure, and to guide the eyes. Let's see what we got here. Is this a contest? Wait, a Secret Wars cover? Contest of Champions. I can't remember which. I wasn't paying so much attention to those. I think it's Secret Wars. Oh, and yeah, I don't think this. That's a very famous Punisher cover, isn't it? So I guess sometimes he worked larger than the standard back then in the late late bronze or early copper age. I'm not sure where we are. So yeah, here's Secret Wars issue 1. Beautiful double page spread. And I guess because of the impact Secret Wars had, at least on kind of the business of comics, but also on a lot of young comic book readers at that time. I was a little older. He may be forever remembered most for his work on Secret Wars. There was some page of his that was like the first appearance inside the comic of Spider-Man's black suit, at least in Secret Wars, that insanely sold for like $1.3 million. I always thought that was a bizarre, unlikely investment. I mean, I don't really know what these pages would go for, but I assume under 100,000. Still a lot of money. Um, Covers by people at Zeck's level may go close to 100,000. I'm not even sure about that. I haven't paid as close attention to prices lately for original art that's so far um, out of my grasp. I assume this cover goes for a lot. He really knew how to do impactful covers. It's just kind of yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer to love his covers, I think. What's this? The Web of Spider-Man, the Coffin. Is this the beginning of the Craven storyline? I could be. Beautiful stuff. I don't even think of Zeck as a Spider-Man artist, but he's one of the great ones for however much Spider-Man he did. Now these tones here, I believe, were on clear plastic sheets, and the inker would have to cut them out with an X-Acto knife or something along those lines, and then they had a sticky side, and he would glue them down. I played with those sheets of Zipatone back in the day. I think they were called Zipatone when I was playing with art materials back in the early 80s. And it was a lot of work. It was very hard to cut them out accurately, but if you did get it right, it did have quite the effect. I think this is very dark Zipatone there. So it gave, even in the days of kind of more simple printing, it gave the inker or the artist more opportunities to play with shades and depth. I think it is best when it's just used sparingly here and there. Um, Zeck and McLeod. MZ and BM. Who's BM? I'm not sure. McLeod. M is Bob McLeod. What am I thinking? And this is Bob McLeod also. So we're getting a lot of covers here from those Spider-Mans. This is such an amazing cover there. This is Spider-Man back in the regular Spider-Man outfit. It's a Marvel team up or a Spider-Man? It's a Captain America with Spider-Man showing up. I was hoping there'd be some Captain America in here. Oh, wait, who's this guy? I used to know who he was. And I think this discoloring here shows probably that the lettering was put on some other kind of material and glued on after the fact. Jared Osborne could tell me if that's correct. Here's more of that Zipatone. If it's called Zipatone, I'm not sure. I just I just love the use of his blacks. It feels like in this issue the art is a little simpler with more air to it, more space than some of the earlier stuff we saw. Here's another Captain America. John Beatty's the inker. Maybe he's been the inker on all of these Captain Americas. Do I prefer McLeod's inking or Beatty's inking over? They're very close. Maybe because Zeck's pencils were so tight. I think maybe I prefer the McLeod a little more, but it's a very subtle thing. Hairy chest. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just getting a sense of more sort of white air throughout here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Now there's, really filling the page with the blacks for maximum intensity. And I love this is a fetish that probably goes back to when I was a kid. Certain artists, I just loved the way they delineated the muscles. I remember I loved some of the ways Steranko delineated muscles, and of course Neil Adams. But Zeck also has this intense way of expressing the musculature. Some Captain America covers. God, did I hate that. It just seemed to ruin the covers so much. All that for a 10-speed bike. And I think by this time, a lot of the readers were older, but I guess there was plenty of younger readers too who would be excited over winning a 10-speed bike. Oh man, that's an intense cover. Now, a cover like this, wow, it needs more of it. The color is going to carry things more. A cover like this doesn't need color at all. A cover like that does seem to me to need. Interesting that they kept the Jack Kirby Captain America in the little box. Kirby was still selling. This is a great one for lighting. And I remember I really liked this cover, but again, this one seems more like it requires color to be feel fully activated, whereas ones like this, it reads perfectly without color. Oh, and here's my favorite Zeck cover of all time, I think. I'd have to look at every Zeck cover to be sure. But I love Deathlock, this original Deathlock, and this is just one of the most intense Deathlock covers. Actually, the way the gun is drawn with Captain America in sights, I think it's a bit of a. Is it? I feel like there's a Jim Steranko drawing like that of Nick Fury holding a gun. But it just feels lovingly done. Another also very intense cover. And that's it. They always come with a little bio. It's nice that the end pages are different. I would love a book just of blown up images from artists that are this good. Yeah. So a very satisfying member of my collection of IDW artist editions. And I will be back in time showing you more of these editions in my collection.